So first off, starting off really basic, what actually led you to run for mayor this year?
So the main reason is that I became a mayor 10 years ago to make I became a councillor 10 years ago to make a difference. And one of the things that I've noticed is the lack of progressive change in this part of the world. The change is glacial, to say the least. And we need and this is a big opportunity to do a step change in how North Yorkshire and York are actually going to benefit going forward. We're talking about bringing millions, if not billions of pounds in over 30 years. And I've got a series of skills and expertise that I think will help drive this. So, so it's about the opportunity to bring living standards up, to bring the quality of life up, to offer a number of different things that will really improve the area. And I'm also very conscious of climate change and all the things that I've put together. Although their main benefit is to people and maybe helping them deal with the cost of living, etc., they have the co-benefit that will also make a difference to the climate by decarbonising the economy here. And also, I'll boost the economy. So that's really what really drove me to this. But if you wanted me to pick a couple of different things, one is that in 2017, when I became a county councillor and therefore responsible for things like roads, they came under the county council remit at that time. The amount of money spent per head in North Yorkshire was one sixth of what it is in London and the southeast.
Wow. Okay.
And in 2024, guess what? That figure hasn't moved. Yeah. They're still spending a sixth per head compared to the southeast. So these things have got to be sorted. And as being mayor, I'll be banging on the door of Westminster saying, look, we need more money. We don't need more than our fair share. We need our fair share. Absolutely. And we're not getting our fair share. So it's that frustration and that lack of progression, as you can see.
Yeah, no, 100% perfect. And so you are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, running as independent.
That's right.
How do you feel about party politics now, and what led you to part with the Conservatives?
So I left the Conservatives. It's been going on for some time, but a couple of things just went. It's that thing where and so I actually chair scrutiny of transport for the North, and I've done that for 5 years through my council work, and I was very passionate about HS2. HS2. For every pound we spent on HS2, that was going to realise £8 in prosperity for the north of England. And then they abandoned it. I was actually presenting at a Conservative conference on the benefits of HS2 when it came over the tannoy. Rishi's banned it. So that was one step. But since Christmas, I mean, that happened last November, I think, October, November-ish.
Right.
But since Christmas, there's been a number of different things that have made me more and more disillusioned centrally, because they're bickering and fighting instead of getting informed policies that actually progress everybody. You can't guarantee everybody makes a right decision, but if we make decisions, if you make a decision, you're 50% chance of being right. If you make no decision, you're 100% chance of being wrong.
Yeah.
So no decisions were being made, no progression was being made. Locally, I'm just concerned that the Conservatives here have known exactly what I told you previously about the spend on transport, and that's just an example. Another example would be the spend on education per pupil in this part of the world. We are ranked 188 councils, and the spend we get is 143rd down that listing. That's not good, but so why are we not in North Yorkshire saying, we need to have our fair share? And so that was the other piece. The Conservatives weren't making a difference. I mean, it's not as if it was a Labour government. It was a Conservative government. Why can't you say to the, and Rishi lives here.
Yeah.
So why can't you, why have we not got more benefit from this? And I was just so frustrated. And the other thing that was happening was, I don't mind if my ideas are what I would describe as rejected or said we need to modify them, or that's fine. What I don't like is my ideas being suppressed. They don't see the light of day.
Yeah.
And so that's my real frustration. My frustration was I wasn't getting traction. In terms of the timing of my leaving, which is the other thing, was I became climate change champion of North Yorkshire last year. And there were certain things that I wanted to do. And I am concerned now I've left the party, they may want to strip me of that particular thing. I don't know. They may or they may not.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get certain things through. So there was no job description for a climate change champion. So I wrote that and I made it very prescriptive. And I put a number of things in there that would mean that climate was always taken into account. The other thing I did, I wanted to do a roadshow to all the different. So North Yorkshire Council's divided into 6 different areas. So like Harrogate and Knaresborough and Skipton and Ripon and Selby, etc. Mm-hmm. And I went and presented, which is unusual for a councillor, but I went to present on how climate change, the local plan, which is to do with building of homes, the local transport plan and local economic plan could all be tied together, and they could all mutually satisfy and build together. But often councils do stuff in silos. So, we'll think about roads now. Now we'll think about something else. And it's not joined up thinking.
Yeah. So you're a bit more about collaboration, is what you're saying.
Collaboration, but also thinking not in silos.
Yeah.
Thinking, how does housing impact on roads, etc., etc.
Yeah, because they're not necessarily separate issues. When you start to think about how they all have knock-on effects, you're absolutely right.
No, I mean, just to give you a quick example, one of the things I put forward is that all new developments should be able to have be able to go from your home by active travel, by public transport, or by car.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we have settlements and developments where you can only get there and back by a car. That isn't very progressive.
No. Yeah, no, 100%, definitely agree. Yeah. And then another pressing question we've got here is, what is your message to women and young girls who are looking to vote? Because I did see that you have got a proposal to put some money towards sort of detracting away from the violence they receive quite often.
Yeah, so this has been central to a number of my policies. And it's only a couple of years ago, 3 years ago maybe, that we had all this Me Too stuff, etc., etc., and it started to emerge how much that perhaps as men we don't always realise how much pressure women are under, and so I am very concerned. And I don't know if the statistic is does a woman die is a woman murdered every day? I think
are horrible.
Across the UK. It's incredible number. And yet, so for me, it's vital that we protect women and girls from this sort of thing. But also, they need to be made. They're 50% of our society.
Yeah.
They need to be safe. But there's some behavioural changes that perhaps men have to do as well. And I think so. It's quite a complex challenge. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean we shouldn't address it and we shouldn't sort it out. So I'm very much, and that's why it's my number one police priority. Because the other concern is that I'm not sure how trustworthy women find the police at the moment. I'm still not convinced that we've actually bridged that gap. Mm-hmm. And if they can't trust the police, then who can they trust?
Yeah, it's like you don't have that layer of safety there, and it's like there's always the second guessing and things. Yeah, it's got to be horrible. Yeah, no, 100% agree on that point. And then, so sort of again, just as a closing thing, really, as I say, it was a very short interview I've got here. So why do you think people should vote for you as mayor as opposed to your competitors? You know, what do you think specifically out of everything you've put forward is the reason as to why people should be choosing you?
Okay, so one of the things that my wife continually complains, and she actually did a post on Facebook today about things you should know about Paul Haslam, and so one of the things I'm accused of is actually hiding my light a little bit under a bushel. So I'm 40 years working in retail, 20 years of which has been management consultancy. But my management consultancy is all about creating change at pace, which is exactly what we want here, or it's what I want to see happen, that change happens at pace. I not only that is I've done mergers and acquisitions. I do executive coaching. I've taught strategy at business school at both master's level and undergraduate level. So I've got a portfolio of skills, and I've got a record of delivery as a counsellor. So what I'd be saying to people is, look, I can deliver on these things. And my manifesto is quite comprehensive in where it goes. And one of the things that I would be saying to students in particular is one of the challenges that we've got here in North Yorkshire and York is that students, when they graduate, tend to have to leave to get great jobs, because we have good jobs. We have jobs at this level. We have jobs at this level, but there's nothing up here for people to really get purposeful and progression. They have to move. So what I want to be able to bring in is businesses, private investment, and businesses that will provide the jobs up here. So people have a choice as to whether they have to leave or not, and they have the option to have a great career here in North Yorkshire. And I think that's a big challenge for us. So that's just one of the policies that I'd like to be able to see happen. It's going to take time to attract those businesses, but I think that's important because it then grows the economy, and we have better skills here. And it's a chicken and egg situation. Companies won't come if we don't have the right people, and if we don't have the right jobs, we don't keep the right people. So we've got to break. So the mayor can break that logjam somewhere. The other thing is I'm a strategic thinker. And although I've got I'll be looking at a 4-year stint, I'll actually be trying to set the sort of the guidelines that will take 20 or 30 years into account. It won't be prescriptive for beyond my 4 years, but it will give people a guide as to where we're going. And that will all be co-created by great communication and dialogue with the people of York and North Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, absolutely fantastic. Thank you ever so much.